4.5 billion years ago, Earth was not a home. It was a wound in the universe, a newborn planet, torn by gravity, heat, and endless collision. No oceans, no air to breathe, only fire and chaos. The surface boiled, stone melted, time itself seemed unstable. This was not a planet of life, but a planet being tested. The first atmosphere was poison, methane, ammonia, carbon dioxide. Lightning struck endlessly, rewriting the chemistry of the sky. From destruction, the moon was born. And with it, balance began. The planet began to calm, but life was still impossible. Then, the rain began. For millions of years, the sky collapsed onto the Earth. Oceans were forming, not from peace, but persistence. Fire and water fought for dominance. The oceans were dark, acidic, and hostile. But beneath the surface, energy remained. Heat, minerals, pressure. The ingredients of life were assembling unknowingly. From space came more gifts: water, carbon, amino acids. The planet was no longer dead, just unfinished. In the oceans, molecules drifted without purpose. Energy turned randomness into possibility. Simple compounds became complex. Membranes emerged, separating inside from outside. These were not alive yet. But patterns were forming. Replication began with mistakes. Failure was common. Survival was rare. But one survived, longer than the rest. And for the first time, something endured. This was life. Fragile, silent, microscopic. No eyes, no thoughts, only chemistry. But it multiplied. Life found shelter where Earth was most violent. Competition began and, without intention, adaptation chose the survivors. Change became an advantage. Life spread, unseen. The planet began to change because of the smallest things. And soon, a new energy arrived. Some learned to drink sunlight. Oxygen, a dangerous waste product. A poison that would reshape the world. Most life could not survive the change. But those who adapted, thrived. The planet was becoming alive. Life was no longer an accident. It was a process. A story measured not in years, but in billions. And this was only the beginning. Sunlight touched the oceans, and life learned a dangerous trick. They captured light and turned it into power. Oxygen was released. Unseen, uncelebrated. The planet reacted violently. Oceans bled rust, recording Earth's first transformation. For most life, oxygen was lethal. This was the first mass extinction. But some adapted faster than the rest. Oxygen unlocked far greater energy. The sky itself began to change. For the first time, life reshaped the air. The choking sky slowly cleared. A shield was forming, invisible but vital. The sun became less deadly. Life dared to move closer to the light. Ecosystems emerged without intention. Cooperation proved powerful. A strange partnership began. Two lives becoming one. Complexity was born. These cells held more power and more risk. Energy fueled innovation. Life experimented endlessly. Some consumed others. Defense followed. Evolution accelerated. The planet filled with invisible life. From space, Earth still looked quiet. But change was relentless. Time continued its slow work. The surface itself evolved. New habitats emerged. Life followed the nutrients. Shallow waters became laboratories of evolution. Cells began to specialize. Not one life, but many, working together. Most attempts failed. But some endured. The planet was ready, though it did not know it. Life had rewritten Earth's destiny. And then, nothing seemed to happen. For billions of years, life waited. Change was slow, but unstoppable. Information accumulated. The stage was set. The planet was no longer hostile. But it was still simple. Soon, everything would change. Complex life was approaching. After billions of silent years, evolution was about to accelerate. Then, life learned to become many. Cells took on roles, structure, function. Bodies formed without bones, without eyes, without fear. These beings did not hunt. They waited and consumed what the ocean offered. Life multiplied quietly. The oceans were filling slowly. Energy was abundant. And change followed abundance. Movement was coming. Some learned to move on purpose. Movement changed everything. No longer passive, life could choose. And choice introduced conflict. Eating other life became possible. Fear was born without awareness. Defense followed attack. Evolution accelerated beyond anything before. The oceans came alive. Life was no longer quiet. To survive, life needed awareness. Sensation emerged. The ocean spoke in chemistry. Information began to travel. Bodies became systems. Speed mattered. Survival favored the fastest. Most designs vanished. A few endured. These shapes would echo for hundreds of millions of years. Life had become aggressive. Size became power. Others survived by specialization. Balance emerged, temporarily. But the planet never stopped changing. Stability was an illusion. Extinction followed success. Life filled every vacancy. The planet pushed life forward without mercy, and greater trials were approaching. New frontiers appeared. The edges of the world invited change. Air was deadly, but tempting. Support became necessary. Survival demanded strength. The planet prepared for a new chapter. Life hesitated. The land waited. One step would change everything. And soon, life would leave the ocean. Life had ruled the oceans, but the land remained silent. Every tide created opportunity and danger. Survival demanded endurance beyond water. Protection became essential. Plants arrived first, silent pioneers. They reshaped stone into soil. Life learned to travel through air. Hidden partnerships fed the surface. Animals followed, cautiously. The land was unforgiving. Plants multiplied, covering the continents. The air thickened with oxygen. Breathing became possible. The planet cooled, unintentionally. Ice returned. Many lives could not adapt. The Earth reset again. Survival favored resilience. Life learned the rules of land. The planet entered a new state. Movement conquered the air. Height became advantage. Land was claimed from below. Backbones changed everything. Two worlds collided inside one body. Life freed itself from water. The land now belonged to animals. Diversity exploded. Survival intensified. The planet was alive everywhere. The ground itself never rested. Disaster reshaped opportunity. Life was erased repeatedly. And always, life returned. Complex behavior emerged. Cooperation became power. The seeds of thought were planted. The planet waited again for something unprecedented. A new kind of life was coming. From chemistry to consciousness. All of it built on survival. Thinking began as instinct. The universe was finally seen. Interaction replaced reaction. Energy would soon be controlled. The path was set. Every moment depended on the last. And one species would ask, how did we begin? Before memory, before history, there was time. Time shaped the planet, grain by grain. No form lasted forever. Creation required destruction. Life was erased and rewritten. The planet remembered, even when life forgot. Every layer told a story. Every layer told a story. And humans would arrive at the very end. A blink in planetary time. But not insignificant. Awareness grew slowly. From survival, learning became advantage. Signals replaced instinct alone. The universe was finally observed. Interaction replaced reaction. Energy would soon obey thought. And questions would follow. One chemistry, endlessly rewritten. Complexity built upon simplicity. Not stronger, not faster, but curious. Curiosity became survival. Thought reshaped matter. Control replaced chance. Memory left the mind and entered the world. But awareness had arrived. Everything that followed depended on this beginning. From dust to thought. The universe did not plan life. But it allowed it. And life seized the chance. The planet became alive. And life learned to reshape the planet in return. The planet finally saw itself. 4.5 billion years. For one question. Who are we? And where are we going? The story did not end here. It was only beginning. Evolution would accelerate. Intelligence would reshape evolution itself. The planet would awaken again. Biology would meet invention. The future remained unwritten. But it began here. On a violent planet that learned to live. This is our origin.